Welcome to my studio, Overcomer. This week we're talking a bit about boundaries and how that relates to trust, trusting yourself and learning to trust other people. So the other day we addressed a group member's issue with questioning the agenda of the person that she's dating, and she's suggesting that maybe it's just her issue, that she needs to get over that. And I was suggesting that it's maybe good to take some time to process that and to set a boundary. And maybe there are some red flags there, maybe it's just you, but either way, it's good to set a boundary so you feel safe. And you shouldn't feel bad about that, or like you need to just get over it and continue through with the relationship as is when you feel unsafe, when you feel like you're questioning them and that you can't trust them. Honor that and take the time to process what you need to process. So today I'm going to walk you through just a quick exercise. I want you to take a piece of paper. We're going to talk about this issue of boundaries. Fold it in half just to make a crease like you're making a card. And then unfold it and use a marker or something to make a big line here. Actually, I'm gonna make mine even larger to emphasize this even more. I'm sorry, I've got a little background noise here. It's like a leaf blower or something going on. So this line is my boundary, okay? This represents your boundary. You could turn it either way. I kind of like it up and down like this. So at the top of the paper, I'm gonna label it who I am. This top section is who I am. The bottom section on the other side of the boundary is what I need. Now, visually, if you want to put this above the boundary, whatever, you can. I'm just, for the sake of space, I think this makes sense for organizing this, okay? This is your boundary. I'm gonna label it. I'm gonna write my boundary, okay? Like I've mentioned before, and that was really messy, it's okay. Like I mentioned before, there's so much power in connecting our thinking and feeling brain by getting things on paper through drawing and writing. I'm constantly labeling and diagramming and whatever, like things on paper, because that helps us get it in our brain. Like before, we've written down, things we love about ourselves. We've written down mantras and affirmations. We write down our feelings, and then we draw a representation of that as well. It helps connect our thinking and feeling brain. This is, the foundation of what I teach in the Redefine process, where we're doing more in-depth art making than this activity, and the writing, the responsive writing, the journaling, because it helps connect this feeling brain, the subconscious, with the conscious cognitive thinking brain. So we're doing like a little piece of that here today. So label it, whatever you want to do. You can make this boundary as elaborate as you want. It could be more than this line. It could be a bridge. It could be a fence. It could be a wall, whatever you need symbolically here to get this in your brain. This is your boundary. So on the top, who I am, I want you to list who you are, returning to this idea of affirmations and mantras and things you love about yourself. Who are you? Even if you just know one sure thing about yourself. Like, I'm a spiritual person, so I'm gonna write, I am a Christian, right? So that is one thing. Let's say that's all I knew about myself. I can write that, okay? I challenge you to think of a few things that make up who you are, your identity, and this can be hard coming out of abuse because our identity was stripped from us, right? We've been taught to question who we are and always to defer to other people, but I want you to write a few things about who you are, things that you know about who you are, positive things that should go without saying, but positive things about who you are. And on this bottom part, what do you need? So I'm not gonna spend time to write this all out. I want you to, so I'll just use an example in the situation with the woman that talked about, she's having trouble with trusting her partner, the person she's dating, and she's always questioning his agenda. What do you need in order to feel safe? Do you need to know where he is, when he's not with you? That's maybe not a good example because that could get a little too obsessive, like I need to know where you are every minute. But let's say he's going on a trip out of town and you have a history of not trusting your partner's behavior when they're out of town. Maybe they cheated, maybe your former partner, the abusive person, cheated on you, okay? So it's not wrong or too pushy or too clingy to set a boundary like, hey, could you give me a call and check in sometime on your trip this weekend? It could be a quick text to let me know that you're there safely, or it could be a more, long phone call that evening, depending on what time they have and what they're doing, on their trip. But just something to check in. And you could even ask them what they would have time for, or what they'd feel comfortable with, right? This doesn't have to be a hard ultimatum, but maybe your boundary is, I need you to check in with me in some way when you're gone on an out-of-town trip, and explain, hey, I don't want to put my issues on you, but this is why I need this. This is important to me to know that you're still with me, you're still in this with me, because I question that when my partner goes out of town, okay? They should be okay with that if they care about you and are invested in the relationship. Again, if it's not an ultimatum, like you have to do this or I'm breaking up with you, and if it's not overly clingy, like you need to, text me or call me every hour and let me know what you're doing, like what you're eating, like everything. I mean, that's too extreme. But if it's a simple check-in, that's not too much to ask, okay? And you can acknowledge this is because of my issue, but at the same time, this is what I need from you to know that I can be emotionally safe in this relationship. They should be able to do that. So make a list of all the things that you need. And again, visualize this boundary. Draw this out as much as you need to. And consider drawing your feelings related to this, all right? We've been over that before. Make this boundary as big as you need to make it visually on this paper, and then also with as many details as you need, what you need from them, okay? Don't feel bad about this. Don't judge yourself for needing this. It's what you need to feel safe right now. And then through going through relationships like this and seeing that someone can trust and uphold your boundaries, that helps build the trust with that person. And also, as I've referred to in earlier videos, building that trust with yourself, your trust in your intuition and your judgment in people also is foundational to this. But this is just a quick exercise to help you think through those boundaries. Let me know if this was helpful for you. I'd love to get your feedback.